Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Super Robot Wars archives. My name is Austin, and we're going to be continuing our playthrough of Alpha today. We're hopping back in right between a mission with Giant Robo. We just beat up Big Fire with the help of the Ginray Robo. I'm glad she's into the game, and I'm glad she's not just been reduced to female sidekick gets to heal. I mean, like, she does still have repair, but gracious does she do some respectable damage. And then this mission, which based on reading the story, I think we're going to have kind of another tutorial style, like character introduction mission. But I'm still happy to because I've been asking to see these characters for a while. I've made it no small point on my channel to say that I'm not like the hugest fan of the series, but I still would like to see how they work in the game. So before we get there, we'll talk about these two little small interludes we have. Sarah is no longer in the brig. She has been released, or says that she wants to be released, and she's willing to fight with the rest of the Don Cougar team now, with some amount of like heated tension between her and Shinobu. That he's like, "Well, if you act suspiciously, I'll shoot you down." She's like, "Yeah, I bet we'll both be happy then." Very like anime style. I don't know if that's quite tsundere, but the tension between them is very apparent. I suspect we're going to try and like angle shoot for them to be like a romantic couple at some point. Koji and Sayaka note that the Mazinger is not as proficient in the air as we kind of need it to be, so they should head back to the Photon Research Lab to pick up a project they've been working on to help it combat aerial units. I'm going through this dialogue slowly because I've already been here once and I've had to re-record because I accidentally hit one of the choices and I didn't know which one it was. But here's the meat of the episode. We are back with Oka again, and we finally have the they everyone has been talking about. There has been a mysterious force sort of in the background of things. Yeah, there we go. There's been a mysterious force sort of in the background of things that a lot of different factions have been preparing for. I think I've wrongly assumed it was probably the immediate enemies we've been encountering because they'd also been sort of introduced as mysterious forces. Not the least of which had been, I think, the Yoma Empire was the one I was suspecting. But turns out, no, in fact, I was incorrect about this. It is the angels from Neon Genesis Evangelion, and they are here now. We gotta go do something about it. We are given two choices here, and this is also going to be our expert point for the scenario. We can either launch immediately, or we can wait until we receive orders. This is what we were supposed to select for a... Hold on, I called them expert points. Is that actually what they are called? Yes, they're actually called expert points. Okay, great. We're supposed to select wait to get an expert point, which feels weird to me, especially given the fact that it's an angel, you know, get boots on the ground as soon as possible. No, having the extra diegetic information of knowing sort of how angels are rendered and how like terrifying they're supposed to be. I get we might not engage right away, but still like get people there to start learning about it. But, the man on the left is probably the one you're going to want to remember if you've not seen Eva before. His name is Gendo. He is the like equivalent of Oka or Shapiro. He's the one in charge of this institution for narrative purposes, at least. He recognizes the threat that the angel is presenting and asks the team, or demands that the team launch Ava Unit 0, which has been temporarily, if not permanently, shut down due to a mishap from a previous launch. And Gendo says it doesn't matter. It still needs to be activated. We have a another pilot coming in to. These klaxons are so loud. Every time they get me. Every time. Come on. I find it so hard to talk over them. I'm sorry, I just got to wait it out. Okay. He says that he knows that there's another pilot on the way. He sent someone else to go get a pilot, and they are going to take over in presumably another unit to actually sort of finish this fight. If you've seen Ava before, you know it's Ava Unit 1. Shinji, the main character, is going to be the one doing it. I have no problem saying so because we're going to see it in this mission. But the way in which Nerve operates is... Nerve is the group that we're looking at right now. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that this organization is called Nerve. I think the name's come up like one or two times before, but it's worth saying again. They operate under a much more dire sort of framework than everybody else. The situation is still serious for any one of our disparate groups, but everything is always high drama. The tension is always cranked to 11 out of 10 whenever Nerve is around, which I think fits the feeling of the show but I'm curious how well it's going to match the rest of the tone of this game. I don't think it's going to be a massive mismatch, but we do at least need to acknowledge that there are some series that are maybe a little bit more lighthearted. This is Shinji. Are we gonna see he's being driven in a car by Misato right now, and they're having a hard time getting to Nerf HQ. But worry not, Albert is here to fight off the angel. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Do we get to play as him? Oh, I'm so happy. Okay. I don't think we're gonna get to keep him, so I'm not gonna worry about like unit analysis right now. But that's just excellent. Okay, let's see how we stack up against. I think this is Sariel. I am probably going. Okay, I want to see if we like actually get hit because he's gonna die very quickly. But I think we're gonna be okay. We may as well take the terrain though. We are further away, and we have terrain. Yeah, just in case we don't have. I don't think we've got a scan. Yeah, you know what? Here we're gonna put a focus on 2. He only has 200 HP. I'm very worried. But like if we get hit, we die. So this is such a funny matchup because like the as serious of a conversation as Giant Robo is trying to have, a lot of the visuals are very goofy, and just like having Karate Man kick this eldritch like post-human angel monstrosity is, I think, very funny. The angels represent a much more like intellectual threat too, because of how overwhelming they are to be able to like resist. They're very abiotic. Good voice acting. They're you can't really fight them in any meaningful way. It is like the inevitable destruction that kaijus represent, but more scary because they are put up against something that is like maybe theoretically able to fight it. Okay, let me turn my audio down. And let's talk about Sariel. Is it Sariel? No, Sakiel, sorry. Oh yeah, I'm probably gonna say the angel names differently than maybe how the show says them or how you do. I have a particular interest in the occult, and especially when it comes to like angels and demons. I try to say them as close to the time period in which they would have been written down first. Obviously, this is like fictitious. This is made, but it is still emulating the nomenclature of how angel, like Hebrew angel names are written. So I'm going to try and say them to my best knowledge how they ought to be pronounced, even if the show does not. Apologies in advance. You can't change my mind. Okay, so here, there's some very interesting things going on. I forgot. I haven't recorded Alpha in a while. I forgot I don't have my mouse to point to it. So we're going to have to just do our best to explain it. You can look at all of its terrain benefits, and they're all B, which is not what I was expecting. I think of angels as being very defensive. So having them be B is interesting. That armor isn't even that big of a deal. But then I noticed the AT field. I wouldn't know this otherwise. I know it is usually a pretty big defensive buff, but the text of my story, the narrative write-up, has described it as being able to block 4,000 or fewer points of damage. So is going to be a minute to hit it. And unfortunately, it looks like it doesn't take up any of its energy to use either, so we can't burn it out of the AT field. It also has an HP regen small, but we got to figure out like if we can get to it first. Nothing. I mean, its accuracy is decent, but it's probably never not going to get hit, which doesn't actually matter, seeing as, you know, we can't do damage to it. And we are 1 range and 1 to 5 range. Though up close, if we are adjacent, it can't attack in the air. But it doesn't matter because it could still just use... Okay, it's considerably worse though. Okay. Cool. We just need to hold out for a couple of turns with Albert, and then we'll start getting more of the mission. I think we're gonna. From the story synopsis, it sounds like we're gonna get 3 waves. Albert's gonna get traded out for Ava Unit 0, and then the actual rest of the team's gonna show up. I think. I'm curious to see what we're gonna do, because like as much as we do a lot of damage, I don't know. I hope we don't have another I hope we don't have another situation like the Dragonsaurus. I can't imagine we're gonna have like the Final Fantasy Tactics, the original version. Is it Belial? Which is also what I know I will say in a way that most people are gonna be like, that's not how you say it, but I insist it is. There's a Final Fantasy Tactics boss fight that's like infamous for being like this really big damage check that if you don't do it correctly, you get like soft locked. I can't imagine this game's gonna do that. I was gonna say this early on, but we are, you know, there's no point in this either. I guess we're not that early on. I don't think we're going to be damage checked. That we needed to like upgrade. We need to put all of our points into a couple of different units just for their weapons. I wonder if we keep the giant robo now. I forgot. I didn't think to check. That would help a lot. And the Dragonsaurus problem was we didn't have enough morale or morale. We didn't have enough morale to use our biggest attacks. So I have to imagine, given the fact that we're only going to be fighting one enemy, this feels like we've been granted some amount of morale to start. I wonder if we'll be at max, or we're just going to be at like half. Yeah, who knows? We'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure why we feel the need to do this so many times. I feel like we've proven the point, but okay, there we go. Yeah, so Gendo here is they are watching the Ava unit charge up, and like there's a lot of like percentile efficiency activation working functionality kind of things going on. But Gendo also comments on there's Misato. The fact that Albert is there, and well, that's interesting. Okay, we'll look at that in a second. He comments on the fact that I believe it's the Magnificent 10, which are that's the name of the group from Big Fire. They would be the only ones able to fight the angels. And Gendo represents without saying too much about the show, he tends to be very informed, even about matters that should be secret. So I like that he is the character that has an interaction with Big Fire outside of just whatever public-facing work that they are doing. There is definitely a secret Big Fire has, and I'm curious. Interesting. I'm curious to see if he will know it. Okay, so let's look at Ava Unit. Let's look at Ava Unit 0. I'm assuming this is probably going to be how most of them work. So I'm going to incorporate this now, and we'll modify as necessary. So 900 armor is kind of low, but we also have an AT field, which I did not expect. We've got flash and self-destruct, of course. We have a synchro rate. I guess that is going to actually play into a part. I wonder how we modify that. That might be something I've got to play around with outside of I was gonna say stream, but this isn't the stream. This is just a recording. And then we have just whatever attacks. Okay. I assume our synchro rate's gonna have to come into play to like increase our damage or something. So you can see here that we have the words connected marked. The Ava have these like large sort of umbilical cord style tubes attached to their back that like theoretically keep them full of power. You could detach for a little bit and then they could run around, but I suspect we probably don't want to do that, especially because we can be here. I wonder how far away we can go from it before it like auto detaches. I'm gonna play around with that for a second and just see if like we get this like warning by moving too far away. No, okay, we may have to confirm for it to like detach. I wonder also if we just have different different stats if we detach, which is this button. Yeah, I wonder if we also just like get different moves if we detach. Okay, let's see. We're gonna take a hit, but let's see if our AT field actually blocks it. Because we do need armor to be able to like actually tank it. Our defensive stats are still being taken into account to assess whether or not it is going to be 4,000 points or damage or not. And because Albert dodged everything, I don't have a good sense of it. Yeah, I figured. This is more check on us. What do you got? Oh, okay, or we can have that 14% dodge. The one time I wanted to, I historically get hit by so many 80%. The one time I wanted to, it's not gonna work. Okay. We get to try this out now. This is the but it's a kind of rifle. Pellet rifle? Parrot rifle? Nah, well, seeing it might help. I don't remember it shooting birds. Come on, hit me. Hit me! Okay, sick. Great. That is a good sign. I like that we can make... I like that we have a different sort of tanking. The barriers usually are not that impressive. So this AT field seems very good. I have to imagine we don't get to keep it forever. Could we... Come on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I hope this one doesn't take forever. I'm of two minds. On one hand, if we do just repeat a lot, I could edit that out, but that also feels disingenuous. Like, I don't. Yeah, I would like to keep it all in so we can see the whole of whatever my clear is. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it, though. We got a lot of stuff we want to deploy. Okay, so this is the giant robo, right? Giant robo. Great. This is the Ginrei Robo 1. We're definitely including both of these. This is the Gym Custom. Maybe we don't need this anymore. Maybe this was just an in-between unit. We can probably also take the Methus out if we're going to use the Ginrei Robo. This is the Grungust. I think all of the Don Cougar qualify. They can usually output a lot of damage if we can like let them build up. Maybe we take a Bluger instead of the Methus. Oh, right. Yeah, good. But we should because they also don't heal on this. They only resupply, and we probably want a resupply if we're going to be like throwing really big attacks at it. Victory Gundam. There's the Alex. What is this? This is Mondo in the gun. Oh, the Gun Easy. We've been using the Core Fighter for a bit. I don't think so. Oh, yeah. Now that Sarah's back, we need to like get her some levels. I'm pretty sure this is Sarah's. Okay, we actually can use... Do we want to use Amuro? He's usually fine. I don't know if new type actually gives damage in this. You know, let's bring him for a second, we'll say. Okay. I think we're probably going to be okay. So we definitely want Ray to move back. I wish I knew how far the connection point was. Surely 3 spaces is still fine. Yeah, okay. We just need Saki. Is it Sakiel? Hold on. Yeah, Sakiel to like actually get over here to us. Oh yeah. I forgot. We should see. They're at 100 morale. They're at 120. Okay, so were the 3 that were... Oh, no? I was going to say, were the 3 that force deployed at 120? No, it's just that Bright isn't allowed to get any morale for whatever reason. Okay, cool. What's your movement again? Again, sorry, I've not played this in a minute, so some of the things I might know already. We're going to need to, like, refigure out a little bit. So is it faster if... Actually, wait, I was going to say, is it faster if we separate, but I'm not even using the best movement one, so we should check here. That's 7 move. That's 8 move. That's 8 move. That's 8 move. So we are going to get an extra point of movement if we stay in jets. Yeah. Oh, yo, can we also cheat some movement here? I think we can cheat some movement here. Okay, so we can end on this tile at the right angle of these two. Let's separate again. Oh, darn. Okay. We still cheated 2 extra movement with this. Okay, so if we can get at that right angle, can we get farther than that? I think we can. We can go here with part 3, part 1. Yeah, we could get all the way over here with part 2 if we wanted. I say let's recombine and we try it. I think we have a, yeah, we do have a flash. Okay, great. I really miss these little movement optimizations. It's so refreshing playing this. I'm recording this a day after we finished the Y DLC. And it's just, it's so nice to have a game that, like, actually wants me to think about what I'm doing. Yeah, okay, we wasted some energy, but I think that's okay. That was, I think we got like 3 or 4 points of free movement out of that. The Combattler, on the other hand, I know does not. At least right now. I mentioned that we would need to build towards getting that extra movement, which would take up all of our part slots, which I don't think is probably worth it. I wonder when we get to combine the Don Cougar. Hopefully it's soon. Because we've really gotten away with bringing just so many things on the battlefield with how many things we can separate. And it'd be nice if we could get the Don Cougar as a single deployment for a minute, and then just really stack. Like, we could get like 20 or 30 characters on the battlefield. Okay. They also all start in the movement, the, like, car form, so we are getting the most movement out of this now. If we get to do something, I think we probably can even start doing it next turn. Maybe not with the Gundam, but... I did see there, it's a bit butts that the Angel isn't worth any money. I would have expected it to. No, it doesn't move at all? Okay. Oh, I guess that's true. I guess we still get this cutscene. Like, we still need... I'm imagining Shinji's still going to show up somewhere in here. Okay, does Akira have... No, he does not. He does not have Excel. Why don't you start us off? This surely is going to do nothing. I guess we just flash instead. I think we just get close. There's, like, no reason to even throw these kind of attacks out. We're just wasting energy. Yeah. Okay, how about the Combattler? I think you have to be at 1 range to use, like, an actually good attack also. Yeah, I see no reason to. How about you have a flash also? And these are all good preps for future turns anyway. And then once we get these close, we can switch them into, I think it's animal mode. Yeah, it's animal mode that has us doing the most potential damage. Actually, speaking of potential damage, I should see if, I gotta check if the Angel has potential. That might scupper our chances for some actual, like, reasonable hits. I think we are willing to sacrifice this morale a little bit, because the giant robot already can do a lot. It's just, it'll get us there in a timely fashion. Right, that's so much better. And then next turn, they'll be able to fight. Okay. And yeah, does this only has repair. I did not select my Bluger based on who I want to get levels. I'm not quite sure who that is. That feels like the sort of thing that's like future playthrough, like second playthrough kind of decisions. Okay. Actually, I didn't mean to do this, but this is actually probably correct that we can use the Dyson Suzanne. We will need a willpower. Or a spirit, sorry. Oh, but we can't get there because we landed on the building. That's fine. We're still gonna need to use it anyway, I think. I don't want to sit here for the 10s. Okay. To get to 10 morale. Well, now that we know that we don't actually need to, like, bait it back, we can pull the Ava 0 forward. Oh yeah, what is your synchronization rate? Has that updated? Where was that? Okay, here, 38%. Oh, do we need to, like, keep being in combat to increase it? Let's try. Let's see. Because that's fallen since we have last checked. 37%. Okay, no, it seems like every time they're in combat, it falls. What are you gonna do? Oh, is other stuff showing up? Oh, okay, sure. Some arrogators. Some alligators. Oh, very few of them, though. This probably won't do anything, but we're spending the flash anyway, so we may as well try it and see. We can probably get another look or two at it. What you got? This does feel very Eva, though, where we've spent so much time doing things and nothing has happened. Is Eva, like, kind of designed around the EI, the, like, single strike mode, where I feel like a lot of supers... Yeah, I think okay. Where I feel like a lot of supers are way more about this, like, sort of brawling kind of nature. And I guess that does happen in Eva, but, you know, we make these really big attacks and none of them really do anything until the very last one does. It's not a good noise. Yeah, this is the Eva unit. Okay, sure, we didn't get to engage with them at all. Those are some free kills we could probably get in future future playthroughs if we knew that they're there. Send someone over. Okay. But yeah, it feels like a lot of the things that happen in Ava are, like, really ineffectual. There's from the 4Kids, from the fake. I mean, the song's real; they made it, but it's not actually from a 4Kids adaptation. But in the 4Kids adaptation, I just remember one of them taking this, like, giant heck-off rifle and, like, trying to blast this small tentacle. And it's like nothing happening. Okay. How's our damage? Without taking the getter, without taking the giant robo into account, I think this is one of our larger damage amounts. There we go. Okay, we actually hit it. I'm curious to see how the AT... Oh, my word, we did so much damage. This is so easy. Okay, never mind. This is not a big deal. Why are these things a threat? I kind of figured it was going to drop damage by 4,000. So that, that attack would have done 12k then, otherwise. Which just is definitely not the case. So, like, Akira can probably finish this. Yeah. Right, but it's giving us no money. But we can get XP. Do we have a cheer? Is cheer even in this game? I think we just have gain, which is why the Combattler is so much higher level. Yeah. Okay, then you know what? Let's have Akira do this, and then we can save the Combattler for if something else shows up. Or if this doesn't finish it off for whatever reason. Let's see it die. Are we late enough into development that we have the like cinematic finishes or whatever the official name is for them? I doubt it. I feel like we gotta wait till we get to like PlayStation 2 to see that. And even that's not all the time. There's such a cute way of like cheating the robot out in like all of the F versions. They just like put it over top of it so that it's changed behind the art. Oh man, okay. This was a pretty disappointing showing for the Angels at first. For like how tanky they're supposed to be, we sure just like did not care about that at all. Is that the whole mission? Was the mission just killing one enemy? We just attacked it twice and it died? I mean, that's definitely dead. That is like the Eva killed it off. Darn, if only we could have gotten double XP for that. I know we could have won the Combattler, which wouldn't have been nearly as much. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. Hopefully we get some more. It would feel really weird to me if we like sort of threw these around all willy-nilly like we do with a lot of super enemies. There's just it feels very irreverent to the source material. This feels like the end of the mission. It just feels very irreverent to do that. Where it's very important that they are singular in nature. They are also organic. Somewhere in the middle here, we're also commenting on the fact that what we're fighting doesn't feel like a machine. It feels like it is thinking and very deliberately trying to find something. Which, if you're not used to Eva, is very much part of the conversation of Eva. But, obviously stands out here in this world where most everything is a robot. I think it balances nicely with the alien technology because we sort of positioned that as this like really powerful force, but it seems to pale in comparison to what the Angels are doing, at least narratively. And the aliens are obviously organic. So to have those sort of set against Eva is, I think, going to lead us to some interesting conversations. But we did very little today. Thank you for joining me. I wish I had more to say, but like, we also didn't get anything to be able to like upgrade. So that was just kind of more of a really long cutscene we all watched. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm imagining we're probably going to follow up on that with some like real combat. I thought we were going to see Eva Unit 1. It feels like we are taking what could have been one chapter and dividing it into two, and this is just like a weird intermission in between. I guess just to give us the opportunity to save from the first phase, but that'll do things for me. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this very short episode, and good job that we have Friday coming up also, since you get another dose of alpha, so this isn't the only thing for the week. But thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Well, howdy again, Super Robot fans. Less of an introduction this time, because I think we're just going to end up combining this episode with the last, despite how I said the other one was ending. The last one was just really short, and I think this one's going to be too. We are continuing with the Neo Genesis Evangelion plot, but this time we actually get Eva Unit 1, and it looks like we're really just getting the boss fight with Shinji and Sakiel. So yeah, I think we're going to combine these two together. So we're going to open with Shinji actually getting into the base now, and he gets to meet all of the principal characters of his series. He is very apprehensive. People call Shinji a coward. We don't need to like get into that debate right now, having not actually like consumed the source material. But we're going to see Shinji kind of harshed on a lot by many of the adults, or then extra coddled by other adults. And in the same way that I said, that Ko's character is really dependent on him not having community. I'm curious to see how this is going to work with Shinji, because like a lot of the trauma that Shinji experiences, which is a very core element of the show, is really dependent upon his isolation. That even with his peers, the peers that the show gives him are not ones of like actual purehood. They are by age or by station, or they are told they should be but aren't actually. So I'm fascinated by how he's going to be inserted into this cast of characters. Like I said the first part, Eva takes a very different tone than the rest of the series. So like, for instance, here, this is mostly just Shinji being apprehensive about doing this, and Gendo, who is his father, is like, nah, boy, you need to sortie. He's like, I don't care about your feelings. You I have a job for you to do. This is why I like raised you as a kid. And so the meme from the show, the meme from the series, if you haven't for some reason, or if you're not familiar with it for whatever reason, not a slight, just it's so ubiquitous, is Shinji getting the robot from his dad, and the game does give you the opportunity to reject getting in the robot, and then you just get like berated more. A sob fest is the phrase I'm going to use on YouTube. Everything's so sad all the time. But that change doesn't actually make a difference for us, so we're just gonna skip through it real quick. There are no SR points for this, because again, it's just gonna be more of a cutscene fight. So I'm just trying to get through this text as fast as possible. If you know the first chapter or the first episode of Eva, you know what's happening here. But there is not a lot of large-scale plot that's going on in these moments. It's just, we need to establish that Shinji does not want to fight, that he doesn't feel like not only does he not feel like he's qualified, but that this just like can't possibly be his responsibility as like a child. And by every means, the rest of the community, either through force or through kindness, still find a way to communicate to him that, good or bad, he still does need it to, because we need the plot to move forward. The rest of our team's going to show up to, I guess, continue the fight that we also had already won. But with Eva Unit 1 introduced, we are given an order. The translation makes it sound like it's a really big deal, but it just feels like it feels very hot air. That it is top priority. It's a top priority order to evacuate, which can only come from a general. Like I guess because I don't put a lot of stake in hierarchy, that like a lot of those words don't really mean much to me. I get the intentionality though, so we need to find some way to at least have the plot acknowledge that a lot of nerve work is supposed to be very secretive. So, having Eva Unit 1 introduced, the rest of the world, Nerve doesn't want the rest of us seeing it. So, Gendo is trying to get everybody out of here, so like there's no witnesses. Again, something is suspicious there. We should be suspect of the need for that kind of level of secrecy. But everyone is on the Argama. Where are we connected to? This building? Okay. We definitely have some more attacks. Oh, right, we start at low morale because, of course, Shinji doesn't want to be here. That's cute. We have an AT field. I'm not sure what the line underneath it is. I don't know what it translates to immediately, but I have a guess as to what it's going to do, but we'll save that for a minute. 40,000 funds if we lose this, gracious. We've got Flash and Focus. It has spirits like it's a real robot, which I guess the series is kind of a real robot series. Where Eva falls is really interesting. Okay, I mean, I guess we just get close and see what happens. I have to imagine this isn't going to, like, do damage yet. See, because we're like losing 25% damage. But we may as well try. But I kind of don't love that we like kill Sakiel last mission. I would have much preferred it if we had just done the same thing that we did with Albert, where we just like kept bouncing off of it. And oh, that's so much damage. Wait a second. That was 3,000 damage. We have an AT field. That's not fair. Okay. It looks like it's highlighted. Maybe the AT field is determined by being at a certain morale. Well, if we live this, I guess let's see what this other attack looks like. But this might be a very quick reset. Sorry. That's fine. I mean, this one's gonna be like kind of coupled together. So it'll be fine. Well, we sure didn't make that dodge. Whoops. Yeah, we have focuses we can turn on. Or not focuses, we've got flashes we can turn on. Though I guess we probably are just supposed to run away for a minute. Maybe everyone else will show up. Maybe we'll go like screw the order. I don't know. We immediately didn't get a game over. What's happened? Oh no. Was I convincingly baiting enough? Yeah, so Ava units, when they reach 0% synchronization, are supposed to shut down. But oh no, whoops, the Ava unit 1 sure didn't. And now, curiously, it's on the other side of the screen. It's the like menu was. I wonder if that says anything. Oh, it sure look at that. It sure is starting from the enemy side of things. Good gracious. Ava Unit 1 is now in Berserk mode. And it's going to absolutely ruin this angel, which I feel like would stand a little bit more if we had like not actually beat it last time, because like I don't know, we just get to crash our bird into it and it's still fine. Same. Like save this moment of it like actually getting to 0 HP for this cutscene. I think that was a bit of a misstep. But I love so much that they put it on the villain side. That's such a good pull that we acknowledge the fact that like, yeah, no, this isn't a good thing. This is like a fun, quirky. We just get to like this isn't the same as like God Gundam, right? It's not some fun, quirky time. And all of the new type pilots all clock this immediately. Their new type senses are going wild. That like something is emotionally like something is not lining up here. There is something wrong happening with this robot. Because like notice also in all of this that Shinji is nowhere to be seen. We only got a face of the Ava. Albert also clocks that what's happening with the Ava units. Probably much to Gendo's chagrin. I wonder, my text does not say whether Gendo acknowledges that Albert was there or not, seeing as he like saw him earlier. I feel like it's a question worth asking. But yeah, so this is why we're gonna combine these together, because this is the end of the mission already. This spooky little council is a group that Gendo's going to talk to a couple of times, but they talk about sort of the large-scale plans of NERV. They acknowledge the fact that a group of people kind of watched what just happened, and that is probably not a good thing for them. So they're going to need to do a lot of deflection. So 3 things are going to happen. Thing 1, we're going to send the Ava units off with Londo Bell. This A is easier to blame them if something goes wrong again. This B keeps the angels from attacking NERV base so that they're allowed to keep researching. And this C allows them to keep trying to hunt for the lands of Longinus, which is a plot point for Ava, not invented for this game. They don't really clarify anything of what that means. We also drop a couple of other words that a scroll, Gendo acknowledges, or Gendo is not worried about people watching quite so much because they might have one of the scrolls that could give them information. No information on that. But they also lack an egg, and that is important for some reason. Again, no information on that. All Ava buzzwords. Their one bit of consternation, though, is trying to get all of these factions to war internally with each other. Might leave individuals like Ingram and Shu to sort of counterplay them, and they're referred to, they're, instead of fighting fire with fire, they say fighting poison with poison, and they recognize that poison might seep over and harm them if they're not careful about it. So we're at least pushing towards my questions about Ingram and Shu a little bit more, but it's hard to say because, like, clearly this group is not trustworthy. Gendo is, like, famously one of the worst dads in anime, so he is already an unreliable narrator there. There's this shadowy organization that is ultimately, we are still getting units the same way, right? Like, still big military organization ends up giving us a are they even here? No, they're not. Okay, maybe we'll get them. Maybe we'll, like, officially get them next mission. We ultimately still will get the units because of what they're doing, but it's with a very different tone that we are receiving them. You know, this is the sort of imperative that I felt like the AI was trying to ascribe to Oka at first. I was concerned about, like, why we were doing these things, not knowing who he was. But it also probably should remind us of the deception that Shapiro just pulled on us, and we should probably be cautious of anything that is happening here. But now, for realsies, we will call it. This added another, what, like 10-ish minutes on. So, like, a 45-minute episode is probably a reasonable one. Not very combat-filled, not very tactics-filled, but, like, very... I'm unsurprised that the game wanted to, like, give a lot of space for Ava. It was probably pretty new around when this game came out, and it was, like, a phenomenon. So I'm sure people were just excited to, like, see parts of that, like, rendered carefully in a game. But that will do things for me for now. I hope you all enjoyed watching. I'm hoping we get, like, an actual mission next time and not just a third one of these sort of playable cutscenes. But we will worry about that when we actually see Friday. But for now, thank you again. Hopefully, if I don't see you in the streams, I will catch you live, and enjoy the rest of your evening, make meaning out of the rest of your day, and goodbye for now.